Hello and welcome to this lecture, and in this lecture we will learn how we could go ahead and create our very own structure of our database. So I have already mentioned that there are mainly two things or going to have certain rows and certain columns, and the column actually represents the attributes of a particular thing and the row represents the particular data set. So let's assume that you want to store information related to a person. So a person has attributes like name, contact, address, and a lot of information like that. So that information of a particular person is called as attribute, and those attributes are represented in a table in the form of columns. And when you actually want to store data related to a particular person, you could store them in the form of rows. So each row is going to contain a different set of persons. So that was just a brief intro about databases. Now let's learn how to go ahead and create databases in Django. So the first thing which you need to do is that, as I have already mentioned, models.py is the file which contains the database structure. You need to go ahead and create tables in your database right here. So as we are designing a book site, what you need to do is that you need to make a table in this, and the way in which you make tables in Django is by mentioning or creating a class by that table name. So you could type in class book. So let's assume that you want to name your table as book, as it is going to contain the information related to books. And to this you need to pass in models.model. So you basically pass in the model book to this thing, and inside this class you are going to write in the attributes of that particular table. So we are creating a book table here which is going to contain the information related to books. So now you need to define the attributes which this thing is going to contain. So obviously a book is going to have a name, so you type in name equals, then you need to type in models dot something which is called as char field, that is character field, which actually allows us to store things in a form of characters. So inside here you need to specify one more parameter, and that parameter is called as maximum length. So let's assume that the name of the book is going to be of the maximum length of 100. So you could type in max length equals 100, and it is going to allocate that much space to the name field. So what we are going to do here is that we are going to add a few more fields. So let's type in another field as the author. So obviously the book is going to have an author. So we type author equals, again, models.char field. It is again going to allocate some space to the author as well. Now let's go ahead and add a few more things like the price of the book. Let's type this equals, again, models.char field, and actually you could go ahead and you could change the length, but I'm actually having the same length for each and every field. So you could go ahead and change that according to your needs, but just to make things simple, I'm going to have the same length for each and every field. Now also the book is going to have a category. So let me just type in category, or let's say type. So type equals, again, models.char field, and you could keep on adding as many elements as you want to this book table right here. And whenever you wish to create another table, what you could simply do is that you could go ahead, go right below here and create a brand new table of your choice. So what you could do is that you could type in class, then you could type in the table name, then you simply need to type in models dot model, and once you do that, you could define the attributes of that particular table over here. But for the sake of simplicity, we are only going to have a single table in the entire series so that it becomes much easier to understand. So this is how you actually go ahead and create a table in the database in Django. So whenever you need to define the table structure in Django, you always go right here in the models.py file of that particular app. So we are right now into the books app, and we are defining the structure of the book table, which is going to store information related to each and every book. And I don't know why this thing is showing us an error, maybe because there is some indentation error, but yeah, that's actually fine. So this is how you create a structure for the database table in Django. And in the next lecture, we will learn how to apply migrations to this table so that actual table structure is going to be created at the back end. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you.